Yes, you. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. This book, Freedom Runner. My dad wrote it. What's his name? Paul DINAN. Yeah. This book is not for kids. It's for older kids in Madison too. I want you to read this book. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day. Don't forget to read the book or else.
A heartbreak to change what a partake, cause none of them won't ever get comfortable in your walkway. My job is to aware you, fully loaded, prepare you for all of the above that I'm never letting get near you. But still in all, give you every advantage I found. Couldn't find a better fit for them, along with my crown. And since the baton was passed, hopping down, cause failing's not an option, and dad is not a noun, not at all.
Welcome to another episode of Dad is Not a Noun. My name is Ishmael, changing the narrative for men of color and fatherhood, as well as changing the narrative on the things I care about. And today I have a very special guest with me. I've been privileged and honored to be a part of the first beta of VirtuousCon, which was amazing, a game changer in the day of COVID. And she's with me today. I don't want to mess it up. Is this the fourth year or the third year?
It is the third technical year. It is our fourth event.
Okay, so it's the fourth event, but the third year.
Yeah.
She is an award-winning, national best-selling author and the co-founder of VirtuousCon, which I call the billion-dollar game platform. Because what she's doing is bringing the elite of Black excellence into a virtual space for a small amount of money that you can engage with and learn and build yourself up. And she's doing it, and she's kicking butt. And I'm truly honored to have her on. Cerece, Rennie, Murphy, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm such an admirer of what you do. It's so important, the images and the discussions that you put out into the world and make okay for people to talk about. So thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you for creating this billion-dollar game of wisdom.
Thank you. You know, man, I can't believe that you were at our little pilot. It was like 3 hours, y'all. It was October, was it 21st or something like that? 2020. It was 3 hours. There was one panel and 2 hours. Like we had 50 people there, and Ismail was one of them, which is crazy. But that is that little kernel. And it let me know we could do it. And so we had our first big event in February of 2021. And what has been consistently so humbling for me is that people, our guests, I mean, to keep our event accessible, we try to charge as little as we can to both our vendors and our attendees. And so we don't have a lot of money to get all these amazing guests. People literally volunteer their time to give back to the community. And that's really where the name VirtuousCon comes from. It's from a virtuous circle of artists helping artists, people helping people, because that's how it's been for me as an independent artist. I could not have survived without the generosity of both fans and artists, and we just continue to give back to each other. So these artists are coming. When you see Rodney Barnes, like we don't have money for Rodney Barnes, but he says, you know what, I'm going to come. Aletha Martinez, we talk about Vashti Harrison. They are literally volunteering their time every February to come and let you know what they know about what it takes to be where they are. They're such inspiring and humbling stories. And it's just, that's what I continue to just be so grateful for, because they are seeing and wanting to do just what I want to do, which is just lift us up, just lift us up. So many times we think, oh, there aren't any Black people in this industry. There are tons of us pioneering and doing amazing things. And that's why when you go to virtuouscon.com and when you look at that guest list, it's all brown. It's all because I want to challenge that narrative that we aren't out there. We are. We've been out there. We're going to be out there.
And being out there, I'm a strong believer is that you have to pour into yourself before pouring into others. one of the critical questions I ask all my guests that comes on comes on my show, because I'm all about mental health. How's your heart?
My heart is full. My heart is full and actually pretty joyful. But it has been a journey to get it there. It's been a journey to get it there. And I could talk, as you see, forever. So I'm going to stop there and you can.
No, I want you to talk.
Oh.
Take me to that journey of discovering that you're at peace with your heart. Or
Okay,
joy.
literally a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks now, I just had to let it go. I just had to say, you know what? I'm going to do the best that I can. And that has to be enough. And then, so this joyful, peaceful play is literally a week and a half, 2 weeks old. I have 4 jobs. I have a full-time job. I am the founder of VirtuousCon. I am a writer of my own books and publisher of my own books. And I also run another small business. So it is just, I am always working and I'm always feeling like I'm behind. Oh, and plus I am a mother of 2 children, 12 and 16. So it is, my life is varying levels of insane, like at all times. And I'm always feeling behind and I'm always working. Rarely am I not working. Fortunately, I love everything I do, but there are only 24 hours in a day and all things can't be true at the same time. And I had to come to a realization this summer that I was not, despite all these amazing things that are happening, like I'm not feeling the joy from it. Right. You know, it's just, okay, that happened. Okay, next thing. I'm not taking any moment to celebrate or, you know, and I was just sort of moving. And this year or last year, my birthday's in November and that's my new year. That's where I reassess sort of what I want to do. Right. And I was really like, I just want to have some more joy in my life. But at that time, even though, just because you say it doesn't mean you're ready for the practice of it. And I was still doing too much, trying to figure out how to put things down. And a lot of things I do, I can't necessarily put down. But what I can do is slow down. And I have to be accepting that when I get off of my day job and all the activities with my kids and doing the stuff I need to do for my team with VirtuousCon, then I open up the document for the book I'm trying to edit right now. And my brain's like, are you serious right now? You want us to do what?
Right.
Good luck with that. And she has literally left the building. I'm over there like taking it's 30 minutes. I'm reading like 2 sentences. Like I can't make it. No, I'm not kidding. Right. And finally, I just had to realize my body is telling me I'm tired. And I've done the best that I can with what I had. And I'm about to close this laptop. I'm about to read a book. I'm about to do something that will help calm me down and reset me. And I've just stopped pushing. That's what I've really, and as I've stopped pushing, it's allowed me to be just present with where I am. I get in the bed and I give myself a hard like deadline of, okay, I'm going to stop at 9:30, which is a big deal for me, y'all. It's a big deal. And like, I'm going to read something because I love to read. Right. I love to read. I'm a reader first. And fall asleep after reading that 2 paragraphs of whatever that book was. And that's going to be great. I'm sleeping better. I'm more joyful. I have more energy. Am I getting everything done all the time? My list, if I showed you my list of things to do just for today, I will.
Go for it. Oh, wow.
Only a few things crossed off. But you know what? I've done the best I can today. I'm talking with you. I'm grateful to be here. And whatever comes up, whatever I can do today, this is a good thing. You know what I mean? And I'm here. And I'm not worried about the rest of that list. I'll do the best I can and then go to bed. So that's why my heart is joyful.
And I love what you're saying, because what I'm hearing is that you're giving yourself a grace period. And we don't do that a lot. If we don't accomplish anything, that's like the end of the world. And so I love that you alluded to that. And I'm a strong believer of, I don't believe in work-life balance. You're constantly taking something away to give something to something else. And what I admire you is that you're at a point where you realize where you're at this moment in your life, and you accept that, because a lot of people don't accept that.
It's hard because I can't remember who the poet was, but or maybe it was a monk or something. But somebody talked about so much suffering has to do with not accepting what is.
Yeah.
So the suffering comes with the pushing against, the fighting against where you actually are. And you might not be able to change where you actually are, but you can change how you think about it. You can change how you understand it. And that's really the biggest shift for me. It's just understanding, a lot of things are happening right now. And instead of being like, oh, why didn't I get that done? Or I didn't get that done. And that's okay. Or I did get that done. Let's celebrate that. Let's be in that moment, every moment that I'm in. Because we keep talking about tomorrow or thinking about yesterday. Those things do not actually exist. The only thing that exists is now, always. Now. That is the only thing that you have. That's the only thing that is actually real in terms of time. And we just, I don't know, but I often feel we're so busy drinking the Kool-Aid, you know what I mean? That we think that we are in this race. It's about, oh, what's so-and-so doing it? I've never seen anybody win a race doing this. Have you ever seen that?
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? It's just, but everything in our narrative, in our lives is designed to help us believe that we are keeping up with someone, trying to catch up with someone, trying to outweigh. The reality is you are in your own lane always. You are not competing with anybody. There is nothing. Nobody is in your lane at all. They can't even be in your lane.
Yes.
But it's hard to hold on to that when all the other messages tell you something else is true. But the only thing that's ever going to be is who you are and being the fullest expression of that in every place that you show up. That's literally all you've got. And but it takes us slowing down to connect with that. You know how they say, I'm a deeply spiritual person, though not religious. That God whispers. God does not really shout. I mean, I actually think that's not entirely true because I've experienced what I call the pimp hand of God. I've experienced that many times in my life.
Explain the pimp hand of God, because I don't remember in any books him being on the corner.
The pimp hand. Everybody knows that they don't want to talk about it because they're too scared, as they should be. God said to me, "Hey, Cerece, maybe this is not really what I had for you." Well, I'm trying to do my thing. Right. Hey, Cerece, hey, that is not what I told you to do. Well, I'm thinking that. It's like, all right. So you said you wanted me to show you the way, and I tried to show you the way. So now, now you get the pimp hand with love, with lots of love. But pimp hand of God is real. Whatever God of your understanding, but I know it. I've gotten that backhand a couple times, and I'm trying not to get it anymore. So yeah, but it's just really about just understanding this is your journey. This is your journey, and all the external stuff. You got to quiet it down so you can hear what is truly the most important thing, which is what are you going to do? What do you think about something? How do you want to be? And follow that path.
Facts. And I love it because I think one of the radical terminology I like to use is being content. A lot of people don't like using that word content. I think it's a beautiful thing because you're in a happy place.
Yes.
You're not worrying about the distraction of the world. You're just your God, or whatever you believe in, or your family. You're in that bubble,
Right. I think I was thinking about it. My primary feeling is gratitude. Like it is my primary emotion. Even when I'm sad, I can feel grateful. I don't know how you get through what a terrible, like it must feel like a constant panic, right? Like if you can never just be like, wow, this is nice. That doesn't mean that something's not better or you're not moving towards something else, but wow, this is nice.
Yes.
Like, what if you can't say that? You're literally just in a constant, like, low burning fire, right? Inside you. And maybe that's why so many of us, like, we're losing our minds because we're in that fire, because we just can't be like, wow, thank you. This is nice. You know what I mean? The sun
Definitely.
on my face, you know?
Yeah,
The
definitely.
shower
That's
this
yeah,
morning.
yeah, definitely. I think, and that's the root of like why so many people commit suicide, because they feel like that pressure of performing and being liked by other people, is that they put so much pressure on themselves. And I think it's sad, but that's the reality that we live in. But let's transition to something like happy.
Yeah.
um you know, your mom took you to Empire Strike Back. That
Yes.
was the antithesis of that sparked
Yes.
what we are today with VirtuousCon.
Yes.
So why Empire Strike Back?
Oh man. So many. First of all, I'd never seen anything like it.
Okay.
I there was every type of person there and creatures you never imagined. Yoda was my first crush,
Oh,
and I mean
wow.
that. Oh yeah. Like there's no, I mean, I have good taste. I mean, he was smart, strong with the force. He could cook. He had the cutest little house. I was 7. Like this is all I was thinking about. I was not I was just like, oh my gosh, like I could sit and like ask him any question and he would know. He'd be like the best boyfriend ever.
That's true.
Which
That's
is what,
true.
and I'm still
Boyfriend in
very much
the
like that.
pocketbook. Boyfriend in
See?
the pocketbook. Boyfriend in the pocketbook.
I wasn't thinking. I would hold his. I would scrunch down. Remember, I wasn't really thinking it all.
Yeah.
I was just like, he's so smart, and his green ears are so cute.
Right.
So that gives you a lot of insight to who I am. But and it what it said to me was this idea, deeply spiritual idea, that there is something that connects us all.
Mm,
And there is a power inside us that we can use not just for our own benefit, but to improve the world.
mm,
And it was formative. I believe that to this day. And that there's this community of people that also have this power. Some of them connected to it, some of them not. But whether you're connected to it or not, it is connected to you. You know what I mean?
yes.
And that we are connected to everything. I can't tell you how it actually makes me emotional. I can't tell you how formative it was for me. To see Lando Calrissian, which frankly wasn't like a watershed moment for me. And I know that's maybe controversial, but I grew up in DC and Chocolate City,
Right.
like for real. You know what I mean? It like being Black was so normal. I don't even remember talking about it because everybody was Black. Everybody was Black. And if I was in a place where there weren't a lot of Black people, I just knew they weren't in that room, but I like they were in and running things, everything from a crackhead to like a doctor. And like there was the whole spectrum of humanity, and all of that was Black. And so it made total sense to me that Lando Calrissian would be looking that fly and in space and doing all the things. You know what I mean? Because I knew a guy down the street who probably would do that. You know what I mean? I knew a woman down the street who, so, but that's really the kernel of it that hit me. And that science fiction was a place where you could explore that deeper spirituality, but like with dragons and cool lightsabers and stuff like that. And that remains to this day what I love about the genre. I always say it's like, yeah, it's a deeply spiritual genre, and it's all about what it means to be human.
Right.
And what is that connection between you and your environment or your community? What's that responsibility? It's the core of what it means to be human. And you get to explore that, like I said, in any fantasy, horror, like it's all basically that thing.
Yeah.
And so you get the meat of life but like with a dragon too. And so I think it's the best genre, and I love it. And while I read everything, it's my favorite to read.
As so are you a diehard Star Wars fan?
Yes, but my dad, but the originals, like, I mean, all these spinoffs and stuff, like, they're cool. I watch them. I mean, Star Wars is always gonna get my money, but like, that's really
The reason why I bring it up, because there's a gang war between Star Wars and Trekkies. Have you ever had a situation?
I have seen that, but fortunately, I don't get down with people like that, because see, that's a lack game. True. My dad was a Star Trek. He was a Trekkie. He used to watch it. That's probably the first sci-fi that I watched. But I think why I didn't connect with Star Trek as much is because I thought Captain Kirk was just gross. Like, he was, to me, like the stupidest guy on the ship. I had no idea why he was the captain. Spock clearly should have been the captain. Uhura, he was kissing everyone. Every show he was always kissing on. Remember, I'm 6. Yoda is I'm just like, ew, like, why is it so gross? Like, in every episode. And who would want to kiss him? And why isn't everybody kissing Spock? Obviously, Uhura, I was like, Uhura should be running this ship. Captain Kirk sucks. So I think that's why I didn't go to Star Trek, because I just couldn't understand why, like, the stupidest guy on the show was the captain. I just could not. I didn't buy it. I just didn't buy it. I was like, Spock, take over.
I'm just worried about you might get some nasty
emails from this. That's not. Keep in mind, that's why it didn't connect with me. But Star Trek, I mean, was groundbreaking. That's a fact. That's not a matter of opinion. Star Trek, when it came out, broke ground on so many levels. And so for that, yes, I love Star Trek. I'm glad to see an upgraded version of Captain Kirk, just because as a little girl, he was really gross for me. But like, James Bond was gross for me. I could not understand why people would want to keep getting down with people like, oh, she's a Bond girl. I'm like, oh, don't. Oh, he gets with everybody. So keep in mind, people, it's not Star Trek. It's just Captain Kirk grossed me out. But Star Trek is groundbreaking. The storytelling and all of that was amazing. So it's not an either or. It's this wonderful tapestry of this thing we all love. And all my Trekkie friends feel that way too. So we don't get that. Like, come on, one love, y'all, one love.
Facts. And a little side note: a lot of people don't know that James Bond character was based on a Dominican. So I will just put that out there.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was based
I did not know that.
I'll send you that information behind the scenes. But yeah,
please do.
Yeah, it's interesting. But transition about the connection and the bond. I'm gonna take one of my favorite rappers' line. I'm gonna add something to it. When he said, "All existence are interdependent." Mm-hmm. What you do with VirtuousCon is all Black existence are interdependent.
Yeah.
So take me into the importance of Black interdependent in VirtuousCon.
Oh, thank you so much for asking that question. It's about anyone who has gotten somewhere. You got somewhere because of all the people that came before you, that created the path upon which you stand. We are right now creating the path forward for the people who will come after us. And this is that connection with VirtuousCon. It's people who are established and across different mediums, even within that different stages, all creating the pathway for existing people who are aspiring to get there, and for the next generation to know that not only is it possible, it's happening. So the only question for you is, how are you going to take it farther? Everyone at VirtuousCon is not the pinnacle. We are your ladders. We are your ladders to go higher. So, it's really about, and it started because, 2020 was a very difficult time. right? And I remember feeling genuine despair. Like, what do I do? Like, what do I tell my children? I believe in feeding people hope. It's the only space that I can create from. And it's the only place I think that you can create something from that's going to be life-giving. And so, I was like, what do I do? What do I do? How do I hold on? And I remembered that my ancestors had suffered through far worse than we were going through in 2020. And I was like, how did they do this? And I thought they built. That's what they did. No matter if we were in or out, if we were up or down, they built an infrastructure for the next generation to move farther. And that is how we have not just survived, because we've done far more than that. This is how we thrive. That's how we are excellent. That is our tradition, excellence. And I thought, this can be my brick. Because there are Black and brown creators. If you turn on the news or you turn on the TV, the predominant narrative about Black people is a mad, bad, or sad story, right? But independent creators are creating expansive stories all the time. In fact, that's probably the reason why they're independent, because they tried to bring a not mad, bad, or sad story to somebody, and they were like, oh, we don't think that will sell. Can there be some slavery in that? Or whatever it is. So I wanted to create a place where it would be easy to find expansive narratives reflecting the true brilliance and excellence that is our tradition as Black and brown people, particularly in this country.
And I love that. I love that.
So that's that. That's the connection.
I love that. And I love the theme that the future is ours. And I love that, because that's some science fiction lingo right there. And that's a beautiful thing. But how do you stay relevant in a current changing algorithm, social media environment where people have short attention spans? So how do you stay on message, and how do you stay relevant? Because again, you see it in the comments. Yeah, we need more representation. Need more representation. And you're like, hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm doing it. Hi. Like, what do you, like, marketing wise, what do you do to keep people there?
I have an amazing team. That's really the short answer. Karen Mahorn is our marketing director and has been with me since that beta launch that you saw with the 50 people in 2020. And now we have Kosi Harris, who is our PR person, who is constantly raising the awareness about VirtuousCon. I can't do it alone. It wouldn't happen alone. I barely post on my own social media. So if there wasn't a team, it wouldn't be happening. The other thing that I think about, and my team helps translate this, is we are leading. We are not following. That is our tradition. I'm not looking to the left or the right. I know exactly what VirtuousCon is about. Everybody on my team knows exactly what VirtuousCon is about. We're trying to pull relevant threads from things that are popular or this or that, but we are focused on what we are about, elevating the images and the narratives of us as Black and brown people. If that one day becomes completely unpopular, we will still be doing what we are doing, because I know that it's needed. And that's what I'm here to do. That's what God put on my heart. Literally, this was not my idea. I woke up March 21st, 2020, with the idea that I should start an online sci-fi convention. And I was starting my first job after almost a decade. It was the first day of homeschooling my kids because the pandemic had started. Right. And my personal life was falling apart. And God gave this idea to me. And I was like, you need to get off the pipe, Jesus. Because does it not look like I don't have a lot to do right now? And yes, people, I am that child. That's why I get to Japan so much. But anyway, this wasn't even, this has gone beyond my wildest dreams. You know, this is a calling and a mission, and I will do it until, in some form or fashion, until I keel over.
And I love this artwork. I always tell people that God is a Black woman.
The
Especially
evidence certainly suggests that.
facts. And I'm not trying to get brownie points, but it's the facts.
I'm glad that you love it. That's an amazing piece by Jocelyn Short, who is a genius. But we commission art for each of the ever since the first one, which I think was a stock image that I found. But after that, we started commissioning. We had the budget to commission our original art for each of the Black History Month shows. So yeah, Jocelyn did an amazing job, and it's just always humbling.
Yeah, and it's a phenomenal job. And my last question is, as a Black woman, how do you just navigate in a world, especially in the Comic-Con world, which is monopolized by the white experience?
I come as me. I'm not thinking about, part of the joy and the challenge of being an independent creator is that I don't ask anybody for permission to do what I want to do. I'm my own boss. I'm the worst boss I've ever had, but I am my own boss. If I want to show up at New York Comic Con with my books and sell them, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I don't really, and I'm so thankful to all the Black women who have gone before me, where they were the first in the room and it was like terrible. And I've had some of those first of experiences, but I never walk into a room alone. I am the embodiment of every hope and aspiration my ancestors had for me. And I bring them with me everywhere I go. Like, it's real. They survived the Middle Passage. Yeah, I could probably do this show. You know what I mean? And that's really how I look at it. Like, they made the impossible happen for not just once, every day for 400 years. You and I shouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
Every time I look in the mirror, every time I look at my hands, I know that I can do whatever I want. Not because I think it, but because they did it. All I have to do is have the courage to raise my voice and do my thing. And I might doubt myself a lot, but I never doubt that. I am super clear about what it means to exist, what it took for me to be here, and that I can do whatever I dare. And so I go and do whatever I want.
And man, this has been an amazing conversation. First of all, I want to thank the ancestors for being a part of this conversation, because I felt like the ancestors were like in the audience telling us what to say. So like baby Murphy, this is what you need to say, baby. That's right.
I'm trying to say what they said. Right? Amen.
It's like, this is the questions you need to ask her. And so it's been an amazing conversation. How can people find you? And my last final question, why February?
February, because I'm celebrating Black people. And yes, I could do that all the time. Black and brown people, but also it's a great month for independent creators. There aren't any big conventions happening usually in February. You have all that extra inventory that you might not have sold the year before. You don't have to leave your house, and we're not competing with con season, which starts in the spring. Right. So it's like this nice sweet spot that aligns with our mission and aligns with a lot of what people are experiencing in terms of independent creators. So that's why February.
And how can people find you?
Yes. The first thing you should do is buy a ticket to VirtuousCon. It's going to be February 23rd through the 25th. We are having, oh my gosh, so many amazing creators. So just go there, buy a ticket. It's $30 for both days. You get the kickoff event. We're doing giveaways. It's just going to be amazing. And we have a lineup of incredible panelists and independent creators. For my stuff, I write science fiction, fantasy, children's books. Go to CereceRennieMurphy.com and hang out and read some samples.
Hang out. And then also, what about, is the spot still open for vendors? Like, can
Yes,
vendors still-
yes, we are
Please
about
talk
to close it next week. So it's $130. That's a virtual booth, and it's actually a virtual booth. It's not just a link. You're going to actually be able to talk to your audience and fans who are milling about the virtual floor. They can buy directly from you. We use a whiteboard service called Miro that people can click on the links that you put there and set up your board while they are talking to you, just like a regular in-person event, except you're on your couch and you don't have to set up. You didn't have to sweat. You didn't have to anything. Just have to log on and come and enjoy yourself. So yes, that you can click on the link on our website to submit the application, but it is closing next week, Friday, because we need to start assigning booths, because we give our vendors a month to set up their virtual booth. It really takes you just like a couple hours, maybe. And if you're a graphic artist, it's going to take you exactly 15 minutes. But for those authors out there, and that's not quite our jam, it might take you a little longer. But we have technical assistance. We have help. People can come on, and we have staff that literally will sit there and help you do it. So you're not alone. We're here.
Fact. Or you just hire an intern.
There you go. Or that part. But yeah. So come on down. Can't wait to see you.
Definitely come down. I will definitely be there.
Hey, thank you.
And thank you. First of all, I want to thank you because when I went to the beta, I was able to link up with Keith Cross.
Yes, he's coming this year.
And I was able to interview him on the podcast, and that was because of you. And I thank you for that.
Oh, I'm such a huge Keith Cross fan. I mean, I can't even, if you guys don't know who he is KEEF Cross, CROSS, just Day Black. You're not even ready. He's a genius. He's a genius. I say that because it's true. Like when you realize the talent that's just walking around in a t-shirt, like it just blows me away. These people are amazing.
And I'm looking forward to hopefully one day it becomes a show on a network or even a movie. I know that's kind of the talk.
Yeah, he has a short.
Yeah, so I got my ears to the ground. So hopefully that becomes a reality. But thank you again for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate you. Yes. Whenever you want to come on to promote a book or just want to come to shoot the shit, you have a home here on the podcast.
Let's do it together. I'd love that. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Again, this has been another amazing episode of the podcast. Like, subscribe. You can follow me on Spotify, iTunes. Type in "That is not a noun," and you'll see me, and you'll see her, and you see all the great guests that I had so far in 2024, as well going back to 2020. So, so again, this has been an amazing conversation, and we're out. Peace.